Alright, this is Christopher Foss once again, and this is a request assigned for Lacey, and the name of this video is Top 10 Saw Traps. Hell yeah, let's check it out. Yay. Okay, let's go. Contains impacting scenes of graphic violence and gore, obviously. Had to put a warning on your DM channel every time.
Saw is a franchise that is known not only for its unique plot twists, but also for its unique way in dispatching its victims. The murderous Jigsaw. Wait, time out. Now, according to Jigsaw, he's not actually a murderer.
I've never murdered anyone in my life.
Technically, he's not.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would stand up in a court of law, John, but anyway. The idea is that the people entrapped by Jigsaw have lost their value of life or have very little regard for it, and that by giving them a death trap scenario to escape from, they'll better appreciate the life they have and hopefully be better people after escaping, no matter how many physical or mental scars they acquire in the process.
Yeah, if getting age restricted.
My own personal top 10 Saw traps of the franchise. Sans Spiral, because that movie was pretty unimpressive, which is a nice way of saying it sucked.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't that good.
Top 10s will cover everything from the original Saw all the way through Jigsaw. But before we get to those, let's get some honorable mentions out of the way first. The first honorable mention here, we'll go to the bathroom test from Saw 1. It's a trap, but it's also not a trap because it is more of a test that encompasses the entire
Yeah, the first Saw is a classic.
I left it off because I wanted to focus more on the individual traps from the movies, but I couldn't not have it on here. I kind of felt obligated to do so, so it sits here as an honorable mention. Honorable mention number 2 is going to be the freezer room from Saw 3.
Yeah, that one was fucked up.
It's definitely a disturbing trap. I mean, she's not the one that the trap was designed for to get out of. It was designed for the other guy. But just the thought of being slowly frozen to death in the manner in which she does, I mean, shit. It's like you're basically being cocooned in ice. And then to still be alive, that's pretty effed up.
Yeah, pretty creepy.
The final honorable mention will go to the pendulum trap from Saw 5.
Yeah, this one was fucked up.
Some
movies were gory and cringy as hell in a good way, though.
This is the top 10 because it was a trap not designed to be escaped from. It was strictly a revenge trap designed by Hoffman to kill the killer of his sister. But a lot like the freezer trap, this was hard for me to put above the other traps that are in my top 10. So they both just barely missed the cut. And now that those honorable mentions are out of the way, let's get to the top 10.
Let's go. Dad Jester sent a message me in the YouTube channel. Go subscribe to him, guys. He's awesome. Top 10 Saw traps.
Coming in at number 10 is the reverse bear trap.
Yeah, this one.
Saw.
This one was cool.
It's an oldie, but a goodie.
Yeah.
The reverse bear trap has kind of become the most infamous or iconic trap of the series, as it's a trap that was used on 2 other occasions, if my memory serves me correctly, with varying degrees of success. But the original is where it's at. And what makes this trap extra warped is Amanda having to dig the key out of the dead body in the room with her. But oh shit, he's not really dead.
Yeah, he's alive.
Amanda has to straight up murder another person in order to save herself.
And that's what made her a killer in the later movies, right?
Possible. Plus, it's this trap that ultimately leads Amanda to become John's apprentice. So there's that. Number 9 is the fly trap from Saw 2.
This one was creepy too. I like this one.
Let's just take the reverse bear trap and reverse it, meaning we got a reverse of a reverse. Okay,
it's complicated, man. You don't have to explain it that way.
Fly trap. And what I love about this trap is not only its simplicity, because it's essentially sharp, pointy things in a metal mask that clamp
Yeah,
together.
it's basically like a
into
chokey
the
for your
wearer's
head.
face. But the juicy part of this trap
Why the hell am I
is that in
pink?
order to free himself, the victim has to cut the key out of his own eye socket. So yeah, it's taking that reverse bear trap concept of digging a key out, but taking it up a notch. And as the opening trap of Saw 2, it goes about as well as you would expect, and
Yeah,
kinda
he
sets
lost.
the tone for the rest of the movie. Number 8 is Feel What I Feel from Saw 4.
I don't remember this one.
Trap and victim you can file under the fucker deserves it. At first, you kind of feel bad because it looks like this guy is getting extra punished for a crime he already did time for. But when it's revealed that he's a sadist, rapist piece of shit,
Oh,
he never
really?
actually served time for his crimes, and also
Yeah, he
still
deserves to
keeps
be killed,
mementos
then.
of his victims,
Maybe he's that
well,
fucked up.
I mean, I can't think of a better way for this fucking deviant to go out. But in order to free himself, he must sacrifice both his eyes in order to save his body and his life. But he fails to do so in the 60 seconds he had, which means he gets drawn and cornered Jigsaw style.
Wow.
It seems
That's
like
some pretty cool
overkill,
makeup
but
effects.
assholes like this can't be punished
That's
enough
pre-
in my
yeah,
opinion.
that's pretty gruesome.
So, good riddance. Number 7 is the motorcycle saw blades from Jigsaw.
Jigsaw was pretty good. I liked
Jigsaw in
it.
itself isn't an impressive entry in the franchise, but I do have to admit, this kill is pretty cool. I even like the spiral
I like
saw
the
blade
movie.
that's used
It's
in
actually-
this particular trap.
I mean,
Even if it's a bit
towards the
on the
end, it was
nose,
actually
looking like
surprising
the
if you ask
spiral
me.
on Billy the Puppet's cheeks. I guess Jigsaw wasn't above shamelessly plugging his brand at this point. But what makes this one effed up is that the engine and mechanism powering the trap is the very same motorcycle that Homeboy sold John's nephew, even though he knew the brakes were shit. And his only lifeline in getting him out of this trap is that very same brake handle from the screwed up motorcycle. I mean, that is just delicious irony that only John Kramer knows how to dish out. Number 6 is the fish hook from
Oh,
Saw
yeah,
7.
that one's free.
Really
Yeah, I don't like
couldn't
that.
think of any kind of clever or fun fishing.
Makes my esophagus
jokes
hurt,
to
man.
throw
That's-
in the beginning of here, so let's just get right to the kill. So the idea here is that Bobby, a consummate liar who's made fame and money off claiming
Saw
to survive
3D
an
had some
encounter
pretty
with
nasty
Jigsaw's
kills, and this was the most brutal one for
must
me.
save his publicist, Nina,
I've had my
from
esophagus
getting
fucked
killed
with
before
before.
the timer runs out. And in order to do so, Bobby must retrieve a key that's on a fish hook attached to a string that is down this girl's throat. And oh yeah, if she screams or even talks loud, the spikes speed up, killing her quicker.
This is
There
brutal,
is
man.
absolutely
Oh.
no vision sitting there and having a fish hook yanked out.
I've
of
had a
her
needle
mouth
put in
and
my
not
neck
make
before,
a
and
noise.
this is
Yeah,
exactly what
I'd be
it
a
fucking
dead
feels like,
This
too.
trap is just deliciously brutal.
It
Number
is.
5 is the pig bat from Saw 3. This one is just
That's gross.
Gross.
Yeah, it's gross.
so the victim here is a court justice.
This one
who let
made me
the
wanna
murderer of
throw
this
up,
guy's
man.
son off lightly on a sentence, but more on that later. And you know, it's not bad enough that this poor son of a bitch is clamped to the bottom of this drum container thing by his neck and has to suffer a slow drowning, but to be drowned in ground up
Yuck.
rotten pig carcasses, that's just
Vegetarians are probably gonna have nightmares over this
Jigsaw
shit.
props for the creativity behind this trap, but damn, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And out of all the traps in the franchise,
Oh,
this
my
one
God.
might be the most vomit-inducing
It
levels
is.
of gross. But what hits me in the feels hard in this particular trap is that in order to get the key to free the judge, dude has to burn through his dead son's possessions in order to, in
Whoa.
a sense, let it go. That's just next level type of torture, but also catharsis. Jigsaw the therapist. Go figure. Number 4 is the horsepower trap.
Oh man,
from
this
Saw
one was
7.
fucked up too.
Saw
Rest in
7
peace,
doesn't really
Lincoln
have a
Park.
lot going for it, but this trap and kill are pretty cool, and plus, takes out 3 assholes at once. Look at this face. This is the face of a dumbass. Because when I sat down to do this ranking, I didn't properly review the kill at first. And now, going back to do the edit, I realize it's 4 people, not 3. So
4 people?
My fault, my
He's
bad.
in the
Let's
or
move
somebody
on
on,
with the ranking.
on the bottom of the card too, right?
Stupid dumbass. And these 4 racists are the assholes in question. One of
Oh.
which is played by the late Chester Bennington of Linkin Park fame.
Rest in
Anyways,
peace.
Chester was glued to the seat of this car, and in
Poor
order to
guy.
stop the car from dropping on his girl's face, and then ripping this dipshit's arm and jaw off, and then plowing into this other dipshit, he must rip himself and his
Yeah.
flesh from the seat and pull the magic lever. Again, this is one of those traps
Yeah.
that just goes extra.
Jesus.
And just the thought of tearing your own flesh from your body is excruciating to even think about. But like that rapist pig earlier, these assholes
This is
most likely
gruesome.
deserve their ultimate fate.
So the
deuces,
7th one had the
fuckers.
most
Number
brutal
3
kills for
is
sure.
the shotgun carousel from Saw 6. This is more or less a big game of Russian roulette.
Pretty much.
Sort of. The
Yeah, sort
objective
of.
is pretty straightforward, and the trap itself is really quite simple. These 6 assistants of William are strapped to this merry-go-round.
That one guy was
thing,
annoying
and
as
out of
shit.
the 6,
You ain't calling me, you look
it's
at me.
William's choice
Fuck
on who
him.
lives and who dies.
He deserved it
Right,
first.
I mean, they get shotgunned to the chest.
I've got a shotgun. I've got a shotgun. I've got a shotgun. I've got a
That guy was
shotgun.
irritating as shit. Kill him. Fuck yeah.
But I love the twisted irony of this trap, as William and his assistants run a healthcare company, and they routinely screwed people out of coverage and, in a sense, decided who lived and who died. Now, in a sick way, those tables have been turned. But there's also some darkly funny moments here as the assistants all break down and turn on one another, talking shit in order to influence William's decision. So
It's
maybe
fucked
not the
up,
most
but it's
elaborate trap on this
a
one,
well
but
done
definitely
trap.
a memorable one.
I like it.
Number 2 is the pound of flesh from Saw 6.
This one was traumatizing
This
as
is
well.
one of the more viscerally warped traps in the entire franchise, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty
Now here,
gruesome.
these 2 poor sons of bitches have to sacrifice as much flesh before the timer runs out, and more than the other person, or else they get screwed. No, literally, metal screws will be bored into their skulls. This is another that just mentally struck a nerve with me, because I can't imagine taking a blade and carving off my own fat. Or like she does, cutting your own arm off.
Yeah.
But, desperate times, desperate measures scenario here. But the fact that it's not only a race against the clock, but a race against another person means that
Just
there is
cleave her
no
own
way
arm off.
both can survive. One is going to die. And that raises the stakes of this trap considerably. Well, we have
It's well
moved
done.
all the way up to the number 1 trap in the Saw
What's number
franchise,
1?
Which means coming in at number 1 is the Rat from Saw 3.
Oh my god,
And
this
it's here at
one.
number 1 because, in my opinion, it is the sickest and it is the gnarliest trap in the pantheon
Yeah.
of the Saw franchise.
This guy
There are
was
certainly other
tortured
traps here
to
that were
death.
more elaborate, and there's certainly more elaborate traps that I didn't even cover. But the Rat from Saw 3 is the one that has stuck with me the most since I first witnessed it in theaters. Number 1,
You saw
I
this
do
shit as a
feel
kid,
bad
man?
for this guy. Even though he's severely screwed up by killing this dude's son in a car accident, it's not like he screwed the system in order to get out of punishment. It just sort of happened. But just the thought of having all your limbs twisted and broken and snapped is just, God,
Ugh.
it's just gnarly. Don't get me wrong.
Don't
every
watch this
Saw
shit as a
trap
kid.
is
Do
wince
not.
fest. But it's just something about the brutality of the Rat that just strikes a visceral nerve more than the others. And oh yeah, if having all 4 of your limbs twisted like a crazy straw wasn't bad enough, now your head is going to be snapped around too in Jigsaw's special brand of chiropractic. It's a bloody cherry
Yeah.
on top of this overkill sundae. The whole thing is just ball-retracting, painful, disgusting, but awesome. And it's my favorite.
It's brutal.
Well, everybody, that was my own personal top 10 traps of the Saw franchise. Sans Spiral and Sans Saw X, which, has yet to come out. But how would you guys rank the traps of the Saw franchise, and what would your guys' top 10 traps be? Please post them below. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Adios. Now, GTFO.
I'll get the fuck out. That was clever. I like this guy. That just sent him. You're getting the new subscriber, man. Oh yeah. Some of those were brutal, man. But yeah. Hope it doesn't get age restricted because of the gore and shit. This is a horror channel. Remember that, YouTube. Yeah. So with that said, thanks for watching, guys. Take care and see you all in the next video. Peace out.